Right, hi guys. So, hope you all had a wicked Christmas and New Year, and welcome to 2024. And I hope it's going to be absolutely brilliant for everybody. Right, this is a sort of the official upload, isn't it, of 24, and it's a request, sorry. So I'm doing it for one of our subscribers, a little member of our online Flying High Living Low YouTube family, and she's called Saffron, and she's from Leeds. She is an absolute darling who loves true crime, lives and breathes it like me. And when I sort of got the request, she says, "Are you still taking requests on uploads?" And I said, "Yeah." And she told me what it was, and I initially said I'd not heard of it, and then I sort of went and Googled it, come back to her and said, I actually I have. I said, "What's your opinion of it?" And yeah, I'll do it. And she said, it's horrible. It is quite a moving sort of case. And I said, yeah, no problem, I'll do one. But I do think you're going to be a bit surprised of my opinion on it, and where I sort of, maybe look at it. So I'm going to dive straight in. I must say, first of all, actually, we are going to sort of deal with the death of a child at the hands of a parent. So if that affects you, or you're easily offended or anything, maybe watch me on fast forward or go check another video out, because that's not my intention ever at all, to offend anybody on this channel, something so sensitive like that. The two named people in the story, in the crime, have very unique names, so I don't want to offend anybody by sort of pronouncing it. I even downloaded an app where you type it in, the word, and they speak it. Well, that sounds nothing like how somebody on YouTube was pronouncing it. So I'm going to have a go. The mother, the 18-year-old who we're going to speak about, is called Verphy. Verphy Kudi, I believe. And her child, who sadly lost her life, is called Esaya Kudi. Now, because I don't want to offend anybody in mispronouncing the names, because like I said, they are quite unique. They're not like just Sarah and Emma, are they? I'm going to call the mother V, and the little girl, who's, like I say, sadly was taken from this world, I'm going to just, call a little one, or, baby, or, something along those lines. So let's kick straight in and put my spectacles on. I need to go and get some proper glasses because they're giving me a really bad headache at the minute. But let's persevere. Right, so you might remember it. The headlines at the time was baby died after mum left baby for 6 days. So the baby was called, like I said, I'll say it once, and Saya, and she passed away from starvation, dehydration, because she was sort of, like I said, she was left for 6 days alone in where she lived, with no food or water, while V went out and celebrated her birthday. V is now serving his prison sentence, and very rightly so, even though I am going to have a very probably different opinion to most people who know this case and watch this video. I do believe, obviously, she needs punishing. She was sentenced to 9 years for manslaughter, and that's what she admitted to, manslaughter, and that's what they accepted. She will do 2/3 of that sentence. Rightly or wrongly, when we're not here to talk about the actual sentence, I'm just talking about, the crime, and we'll get to my opinion on sentence later. She was going out clubbing for a birthday. So this is like a little bit of a timeline. So on the 5th of December, She left her flat in Brighton and headed to London, where she spent her birthday. 2 days later, she went to a concert in, never heard of this, but this is what the BBC story said, Elephant and Castle. So if you have anybody who lives in Elephant and Castle, please contact, because wow, that is so unique. So she went there to a concert. On the 9th of December, she went to a birthday party, which was 150 miles away from her flat. And then she went back to London. She went back to London the next day, and then she headed home. When she got to the flat, apparently she was in the flat. She took some trash, some rubbish out. She's seen in CCTV sort of leaving her flat door, walking out the communal door with a bag of rubbish and coming back. And she's in this property in the house, for about 3 hours, until she actually makes the 999 call. So she makes the 999 call, and she says that her daughter won't wake up. The paramedics attend, try and sort of, do what they can for the little one. Obviously, she's, every attempt is not going to work, and she's pronounced dead. The 999 response people did say that V was she was a bit incoherent, she was distressed, distraught. In the police interview, she did say that she'd been in the flat the whole time with the little one, only going out to do a trip to London once, which the little one came with her. The police did go on to find that she'd apparently allegedly done this 12 times. It was 12 times before. She had left the little one beforehand alone for periods of time. Never 6 days, but she had still left a considerable amount of time. There was also CCTV in the communal hallway, corridor, whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't sort of freely CCTV'd, where you can see it, or it says, doesn't it, CCTV in operation, that sort of thing. It was like a hidden camera for some reason. It was a supported living establishment, something to do with the YMCA. That's what it says anyway. And they on the particular footage that I'm talking about, she's seen sort of getting drunk and socialising outside in the hallway, where the little one would be in the flat alone. She had a very, very, very traumatic sort of teenage years. When she was about 14 years old, she began sort of running away from home, and she'd go missing for a couple of days. And the social work team stepped in, basically, and it was believed that she had been a victim of sex trafficking. This is around 14 years old, guys. So she's only just a teenager, very, very young as well. You imagine yourself 14. You still. I know everyone had a different upbringing, but you're not a woman of the world, are you, at 14? So she's taken into care, and she's put in effectively what's called a safe house. Apparently, I thought safe houses were for sort of domestic violence and things like that. But hey, so anyway, I suppose it's like a little children's home or something like that. Anyway, but they call it a safe house everywhere that she is. So she's put into there. 6 months into her living there, she then is sexually abused. So she's been groomed as well now. And that sexual abuse results in her getting pregnant and conceiving this little girl. Now, she's then taken out of the safe house, because it wasn't fucking safe, was it? And they put her into this, where she was living at the time, this supported living, which I say is something to do with the YMCA. When her mother found out that she was pregnant, Mum said she was quite anxious due to how young she was, and having gone through traumatic sort of teenage years, really, to be honest. But she had the baby, and she said she was quite excited, looking forward to it. She's got this flat, and she's got her own little family, but she is only young, isn't she? Still very young at the minute. The baby was born premature. Now, obviously, everybody has health visitors, and this health visitor on this case seems to be quite vocal. And there will have been, we all know these organisations that when you've had children, your health visitor, your GP, and well, obviously, with her being sort of in the care system and in this supported living, there will have been extra help for her. So this health visit goes on to say that there was help available from multiple agencies, only she didn't take advantage on it. She was very hard to sort of engage with. She didn't keep appointments. So it's also said somebody in authority says she was autistic. The little girl had no GP. She wasn't registered with a GP. And she was down at Great Ormond Street Hospital, something to do with her eyes. And it is mentioned that she hadn't had any inoculation, so those injections, the jabs and stuff. Now, like I say, what she's done is wrong. The people in authority sort of who were there for organisations to help her had arranged for a meeting, but unfortunately, as it always seems to be, this meeting didn't take place, and the child, sadly, this happened. Now you've got to kind of think that this girl, she's gone from a home, a childhood home, where up to being 14 she probably sort of felt safe, and loved and whatnot, and then something obviously has gone wrong, and she's been took advantage of and ended up in this safe house, where in this safe house, I mean, safe's in the actual name of the word where she's been taken to, safe, and she's then abused and gets pregnant. So she's got to find, obviously there's always going to be a reminder when you've been through something so traumatic like that. But she's also got this baby as well, so it's always going to be there, isn't it? Always going to be there. I know what it is. I mean, a lot of people, they can't, they they're sat watching this maybe, and the little one's upstairs, or they're sat next to him and they've got the earphones in and watching it or whatever, and they just picture their little girl or their little boy in their arms, and it's like, how you bonded with your little one, how as soon as you gave birth, you passed your little one, and skin to skin contact, and that bond's unbreakable, and there's nothing you wouldn't do, and majority of people do have a reaction like that. You've got to accept that sometimes it's not always the case. I mean, just because a child is born, it really doesn't mean that you have that maternal bond is going to gel. It is going to be there, and a lot of it is how the circumstances, how your child was conceived. You've got to take that into consideration a little bit. You've got to, guys. I mean, my points are the past childhood trauma clearly hasn't been dealt with. She went in at 14. She's this only actually happened. She was celebrating her 18th birthday, so she'd got a child. 16, 17. She's come on. She's only to deal with this. I mean, and she'd also apparently something had happened where she got post-traumatic stress as well. So, God, she should have been having some sort of counselling and sort of dealing with this, not throwing a child into the mix. I mean, I know you can't make somebody have an abortion, but it doesn't say anything about who was there when, what support network she actually had when she found out she was pregnant. I think that the media should be putting things in like that. Surely. I mean, what the media have done, in my opinion, have just created this image of this 18-year-old who wants to go out and party and fuck the child. I don't think it is as clear as cut as that. At all. Not at all. I think there's so many missed opportunities, yet again, from people in authority. I mean, if this has happened on a few occasions before, for like a couple of 2 hours and 3 hours here and stuff like that, although it's not 6 days, why has nobody noticed? Why has nobody heard this child cry? You know, I'm going to get thrown back at, children who'll be neglected, they don't cry anymore. Well, she fucking would have cried at the start. She would have cried. I mean, these sort of organisations, they have a key to that house. I mean, they've got CCTV. For some reason, they put the CCTV in hiddenly. So, that would say to me, they're having an issue with something or someone. So they must have been watching it on a regular basis. So do they not see her? At some point come in with the child, go back out for fucking hours without the child. Well, one video on YouTube had got 2.2k comments, and obviously I'm not going to read them all, but you can imagine. Punishment doesn't fit the crime. Another one. There are so many opinions. This young mum, so many options this young mum could have turned to. Left her kid alone. Was just seem so much easier for her. So how selfish she is. She deserves a harsher punishment than a fucking couple of years. I mean, yeah, she got 9 years, but what they're saying is by the time she won't do it all, will she? She should have got life. Life for a life. Scum. No remorse. 9 years. Joke should get 50. Excuse me. Now, I looked it up on TikTok as well. And I had to sort of, I'm faced with different wordings, but sort of meaning the same comments as what I've just read you. And I sort of pulled back. She was a victim of sex traffic, and she kept running away from home, and she was placed in a so-called safe house. In there, she was abused after only 6 months of being there, and she ended up pregnant, and then moved to the supported living where she lived when this happened. So where are the fucking sodding staff? So yes, guys, my opinion is yes, she needed punishing, but I don't think it's. I mean, I asked a friend, a friend came out, and I said, right, I'm gonna just give you a quick sort of rundown. 18-year-old girl goes out for six days. She goes out partying, clubbing, celebrate a birthday, and leaves her 18-month-old child at home in the flat with no supervision, no food, no water. Not that they could feed themselves anyway, but and she come back and the baby's dead, and he's like, I said she got 9 years. His opinion was like most, that's fucking hell, that's wrong, selfish bastard or something. And then I said, what if I told you she had been sex trafficked at 14? She'd been put into care in a care home in a place specifically called Safe House, where in 6 months' time she's then abused, and the girl is a product of rape. Now, before I even found out that this baby was a product of rape, I even said to my friend, I said, I'm telling you now, that little girl is the outcome of the sexual assault. And it was. It was. Now, we're going to do a sort of like a live or a video call and film it and put a second half to this on. And Saffron is going to sort of join me and sort of question why I think like this. And I'm going to question why she doesn't. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion. So get your questions in. Keep your eye out for it. And that gave me an idea. So thank you, Saffron. You've given me a wicked idea. If you want to make any requests on what's my opinion on something, it could be a hypothetical situation, it could be a crime that's committed, it could be something that's happened on social media, but you want to know my opinion of it, I will make the video, I will upload it, but the condition is you've got to join me 2 days later, and we're going to have a little debate. You don't have to show your face if you don't want. Hit me up, darlings. Share me. Please share me. Please subscribe. Please get me 1,000 subscribers this year. Love you.